it takes to be a great defensive back? I think, first of all, excluding the players, I believe you as a coach have to believe you're great. And every day that you walk into the office, you have to say to yourself, how can I make myself better today as a coach? Once you have that air of confidence and that air of excitement about you, then that air and that ray just goes right into the players. And then you can show them players, and you can show all the guys that you're associated with how to be great. What it takes to be a great defensive back? Well, within the next hour, I'm going to basically show you what it's going to take. Basically, right now, I'm going to start out by giving you some mental philosophy on what it's going to take. The player himself has to believe in his abilities. You're going to find all kind of defensive backs, all kind of athletes, all kind of guys that think they're defensive backs. Well, the first thing, they have to believe in themselves. They have to say, I'm good. I want to be great. Therefore, they're going to make themselves, and they're going to work hard, and they're going to be that way. The second thing is, you have to display that greatness to them, okay? And then, again, as I said before, that array is just going to spill over on them. You're going to find players that run 4.9, 5 flat, that want to be defensive backs. Can they be great defensive backs? Yes, they can be great defensive backs. How can they be great defensive backs? Well, one is it's not the straight-on speed that's important. A lot of guys think because they don't run 4.3s, 4.4, they can't be great defensive backs. That's not true. Okay, some of the greatest guys that I've been associated with, and I put at least 27 guys in the pros in my 25 years of coaching that have played for me as defensive backs. So I know what it takes. There's been guys that ran 4.9 that are playing in the pros that I didn't even think they could make it. They made it. Why? Because they had that belief and their confidence in their abilities. And secondly, they worked on the skills that made them great. What are the skills? One of the skills that they have to develop is foot quickness. And we're going to do some drills today, basically, that show you how you can improve foot quickness. You know, I use an example sometime of a boxer. And as being be a great defensive back, the boxer is a prime example. What's he do? One, he gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he runs, he does everything it takes for the discipline aspect. Secondly, when he comes back from running, he goes into the gym and he starts spawning. He punches that bag, and he hits it. That hand-eye coordination is fantastic for him. Then he jumps into the ring, and he gets beat on, and he gets pounded, and he takes that mental toughness that's needed. And that alone is fantastic. But the most important thing is, and I forgot to mention, is that he jumps rope. And he jumps rope, and he jumps rope, and he jumps rope so that his feet are exceptionally quick. And that is extremely important. So to be a great defensive back, one, the coach has to believe in himself. Two, the player has to believe in himself. Three, don't worry about being slow of foot. Because you run a 4.8, don't think you can't be a great defensive back, because you can. Work on foot quickness. Work on improving your foot quickness, the lateral quickness, moving from here, moving over here. Improve on that, and you'll be a great defensive back. Jump a lot of rope. Jump a lot of rope, and I'm telling you, you can develop into a great defensive back, and I've had players that prove that. There's a couple other things that are important, and when you talk about philosophy and why guys need to be great defensive backs, well, one thing is the part of communication. When you have a foursome back here, the two corners, the strong safety and the free safety, they have to be able to work together. Now, what best way for them to work together is to have a lot of communication, okay? And it's not the communication like I'm talking to you right now. It's the communication part that they have to have that voice recognition amongst them. If I'm the free safety and I'm making a check 3, check 3, check 4, check 2, those corners and that strong safety ought to be able to pick up my voice patterns without even turning around and looking at me. Now you're saying, yeah, coach, well, you know, we're in high school. There's no need for that communication aspect. You're wrong, okay? You're still going to have 5,000 people screaming and yelling and so on. So I use an example sometime of a mom that recently had a baby. She lives next to a railroad track. Train goes down the track 1 o'clock at night, blows his whistle, shakes the house, and mom never budges. The baby in the next room, an hour later, whimpers. That mom's up and into the room. Why? It's because of the voice recognition that mom had. Why is this so important? It's important because if you are a corner or if you're a strong safety and their guy goes in motion and you have to hear a check, you shouldn't have to turn to look and see what the safety's doing or what he's saying. You should be able to look at the offense and be able to hear through voice recognition the check of the safety. So communication's important. The second thing is film study. You know, there's a lot of coaches that give their players a film, a video. Say, go into the room and look at it. Come out of it, the player doesn't have a slightest idea what he saw. Why? It's because he was never prepared. Well, getting prepared is extremely important on how to watch film. I have a book called 101 Defensive Back Drills. In the book, there's a section that says, know the receiver you have to cover. And in that section itself, there's 2 pages that basically talk about the receiver and the flaws and the pluses of that receiver. And I give that section to our defensive backs, and I say, you study this. You take that 2 pages into the room when you watch film. Now, if that receiver is a 2-point receiver, he stands straight tall, good, mark it down. If he's a 3-point receiver and he comes off, mark it down. If he comes off hard every time the ball snapped, mark that down. If he comes off 3/4 speed one time, full speed the next time, half speed one time, mark that down. If he comes across the middle and he catches the ball over the middle, he's great in catching the ball over the middle, mark that down. If you never see him come across the middle, mark that down. Has he ever thrown a low block? Mark that down. Has he ever hit guys up high? Mark that down. Is he a tough guy? How tall is he? How short is he? Can he catch the ball? Which way does he turn when he catches the ball? All these questions are inside this 2-page sheet that I have. So you've got to be able to take that video, take those 2 pages in there, go down this whole list of flaws and pluses on this receiver, come away from watching that film saying, I know everything I possibly can know about that receiver, and then you'll be a great defensive back. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, foot quickness. We're going to do some drills. Some are unique, some are Ron Dickerson drills, some are drills that you've seen before. But they're drills to develop foot quickness, and it is extremely, extremely important that you first get your players to work on their feet and having that positive attitude about them being confident that they can move laterally faster than they can going back and forth. And again, we'll do some of those drills. The very last thing, if I have a reputation around this country of developing great defensive backs, it's because the defensive backs that I've coached will knock your head off, okay? They'll come after you. I've had guys that are 5'9", 190 pounds at Penn State when I was there, free safety that wasn't afraid to hit a sole, and he would come up and just put his helmet right under people's chin straps. Well, that's important, okay? And we're going to emphasize the fun of hitting and coaching the fun aspect of hitting. So those 4 things are extremely important, along with the personal parts of believing in yourself. And the last thing that I failed to mention about developing a great defensive back is the goal-setting aspect, okay? A player has to set goals. He has to say to himself, I'm going to be the best in the country. Not the best in my conference, not the best on this football team. I'm going to be the best player at my position in the country, okay? Don't go for those minor goals. Go for the gusto. And once those guys believe in that, they're going to play hard, and they're going to develop a great attitude, and they're going to be exceptional football players. The last thing is, and I keep saying this, is to have fun, okay? If you develop fun attitudes, fun drills, and we're going to do a lot of drills that are fun, into your players, they're going to play for you. They're going to love to come out to practice because they're going to say, now, what kind of drills has Coach developed now? Well, make sure that you invent some of your own drills. Invent some drills that are fun, invent some drills that are difficult, invent some drills that aren't as tough and fun. But make them different. Remember I said, I had a book, 101 drills. Why did I do it? I did it because it eliminates the boredom of practice. Guys enjoy coming out because they're saying, what is Coach going to do now? So enjoy sitting down and writing down what kind of drills you're going to do in practice today so that your players will enjoy coming out. The tackling ones, the foot quickness ones, the ball drills ones, and not to mention the drills that you have just in the individual period. Before I go on with the players, I want to talk a little bit about stance. And a lot of coaches come up to me and say, Coach, how do you have your players stand? Your corners, your safeties, how are they standing? Well, I don't put a lot of emphasis on stance. I think that the limited amount of time that you have in practice, you can't spend a lot of time on teaching a guy how to stand, okay? I tell the guys to line up, I get them in a stance, their own comfortable stance, and I say, do you feel good? If they say yes, fine. Now, if I have a player that has an extension this wide and he's down like this, and he looks awkward and yucky, then I'll straighten it up, okay? But most of the players that I've coached have come from great high school programs. I tell them to get in a stance, they're in a comfortable stance, their arms are dangling, okay? They're rocking a little, they're somewhat on the balls of their feet, they're in a position where they can take off, backpedal on a snap of a dime, and they feel good about it. Well, the one thing that you just saw me do is I'm in a comfortable stance, my hands are dangling. Well, you have to have that air of confidence. You have to have that air of cockiness about you too, okay? Well, there's a lot of defensive backs that I've seen, especially coming out of high school. This is the way they're lined up. They're stiff as boards. They look like if I was a receiver and I seen a guy out there like this, I'd start laughing to myself because I know I could fly by him before he even gets out of that stance. Well, if you show an air of cockiness or confidence, and if you're standing there and you're just like, come on, I'm ready to take you on. That guy doesn't know whether you're a 4'6" guy, a 4'8" guy, a 4'4" guy, because you have that air of confidence about you. That follows into what it's going to take to be a great defensive back. You have to show that air of confidence. So you get your stance initially, have your arms dangling, have that look in your face like, come on, I could take you on. I don't care if you're a 4'3" sprinter. I'm going to take you on. That guy doesn't know. Show it. Show the air of confidence. Teach it to your players, and they'll develop and they'll play well for you. Okay, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to start and get some of these young guys here. Why don't you guys come on down here? As I said, I have a lot of drills, and I'm not going to go over all the drills, but a lot of the drills that I'm going to start with are basic drills that we start out our practice with every day that are foot quickness, hip flexibility drills that are extremely important to start practice with. And the one that I'm going to start out with is a unique drill. It's a drill I call twist-to-flex. The players are standing there. When I say set, they're going to jump out and they're going to face me. They're going to backpedal about 20 yards, but they're going to twist on the way down, and I'll demonstrate to them so they'll do it, but this is the way it's going to go. We're going to swing our hips all the way down, and you can see and you can feel, and when they get done, they'll say, wow, they can feel that little extension in their hips. Why don't all four of you guys line up across here, face me, okay? When I say set, go, we're going to backpedal you, and you're going to twist just go slowly. You don't have to speed, okay? Ready, set, go. Good, 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 good. It looks like a silly drill. That's good, right there, okay? Now what do you get out of this drill? You get the hip flexibility. It's not just a great drill for the defensive backs. If you're a quarterback like this young man is, you're going to get the hip flexibility in it where you can come back and you can twist your hips and be ready to throw the football. Also, what you get out of this is you get some loosening in the shoulders also. Okay, the next drill as we go back is a drill that we're just going to cross over. Some of you have seen this before, spread out a little. Okay, this is called high crossovers. And the way this drill operates is, and I'll demonstrate for you halfway, is you're going to swing your arms and swing your legs over, loosening up your hips. Okay? All right, here we go. Set, go. Good, good. End up on your toes and don't rush it. All right, fantastic. Okay, what do you get out of that? Again, all we're working on right now is hip flexibility. We're working on the hip flexibility aspect, and then we'll get into some more quickness drills and in the foot area aspect and go from there. From there, what we're going to start adding some foot quickness drills. This is called quick and choppy. And all we're going to do is we're going to go down about 20 yards, crossing over as fast as we can go. And what we want to do is we want to say to ourselves, how many times can I cross over before I get to the 20-yard line? Okay? You can't count them, but you got to say to yourself, I'm going to do this about 60 times. Well, what happens in this drill, and we're going to show you here, is that psychologically, these guys are going to think, boy, my feet are quick. The more they do this, and they do this drill every day, the more they're going to start thinking that they have great foot quickness. Okay, here we go. Sit, go. Okay, that-a-way, that-a-way. Good, 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 good. That's fantastic. Okay, again, you feel some hip flexibility in there also, but you get the quickness in your feet by crossing them over. Okay, the next drill is another drill that I mentioned to these young guys I was going to do earlier, that every coach, defensive back coach in the country has done, and that's a wave drill. What we're going to do is we're going to backpedal you, and I'm going to turn you this direction, then I'm going to turn you this direction, then I'm going to turn you this direction, okay? And you'll get that hip flexibility in it, but you'll also get the shoulders loosened up, all right? Sit, go. Over here, over here, over here, all right? What you end up doing in this drill, fantastic, is that you end up going backwards on an imaginary line, okay? You're just going straight back, and the players are swinging their hips this direction, swinging their hips back this direction, and swinging their hips back in this direction. And it's an excellent drill. A lot of you have seen, and come on in closer, fellas, because I don't need to demonstrate this. Move in a little closer, okay? This is called quarter eagles. And what I'm going to do here is that when I say set, you guys are going to face me. When I say hike, you're going to go that direction, your whole body. If I say hike, hike, you're going to turn your whole body around facing that way. So if I say you're set, you're facing me. Hike, you're here. Hike here, set back here. Anytime I say set, you face me. If I say hike, hike, you keep turning until I tell you set. Okay? All right? Hike, sit, hike, sit, hike, sit, hike, sit, hike, hike, sit. All right, that's a good job, okay? Well, that's the same. Again, it's all in the foot quickness aspect, and it's mentality working with it. Okay, you got to believe that your feet are quick, and you keep turning and coming back. Okay, now this is called quarter eagles. Okay, that was quarter turn. This is quarter eagle. Now it's the same type of philosophy. Now you're going here, here. Okay, if I give you this sign, you're going that way. If I give you that sign, you're going that way. Okay. All right, here we go. Sit, hey, 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 hey. All right, and you keep speeding that up. Okay, that's a great job. Thank you. There's two areas that I haven't mentioned in the foot quickness aspect, and that is the churn series, okay? The churn series basically is set up where the players are never moving their feet. I mean, never stopping, okay? I hate the word stop, and I hate the word plant when it comes to defensive back terminology. When I played defensive back, the coach used to say back pedal, plant, and go forward. Back pedal, stop, and go forward. Well, you can't do that anymore, okay? The defensive back, as I saw Coach Miller show earlier, and he basically was talking about defensive backs, is when you come back, you're backpedaling, you're churning your feet, and you're coming forward. You're never stopping, okay? So I've developed and I put together some drills that I call this churn series drills, okay? And basically what they are is we're going to form an M, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to form an M on the field. I'm going to come back here on a diagonal, move my feet, come back, move my feet, and finish up this direction, okay? So we're forming an M, but we're also turning our feet, and we're not stopping. Okay, you guys start right there on that line, going back that direction. Okay? No, you can, all four of you can do it. Okay? Yeah, you're going to end up that way, down, back, and down. Okay, sit, go. Okay, keep your feet moving. Keep your feet moving. All right. Okay, some of the guys, stopped. You can't stop. You got to come back, keep your feet moving, come forward, keep your feet moving, and finish strong, okay? The next drill is basically a single drill where you have one line and all you're doing is going back, keep your feet moving and coming forward, okay? Just try it. Set, go. Okay, you try it. Set, go. All right, all right, all right. Now, the other thing that I failed to mention is the usage of the arms. Okay, you come back, you keep those feet moving, and you come forward. Okay? I played defensive back when I was in college. I'm 6'4". I had a lot of problems, especially acceleration forward. And those are the terms that I use. Acceleration, burst, explode, not stop or plant. Those kind of terminations are important to use when you talk defensive back play. I also have a diagonal back pedal where they're backpedaling. Coach turns them out of their back pedal, then he turns their feet and they come back forward. Okay? So actually you're only going to go down about 10 yards. I'll backpedal you, break you, and bring you back. Okay? So you're going to accelerate from that point back to me without stopping. Ready, sit, over, come on. All right, stay low when you do that. Try it again, so one of you guys. Sit, back, break, come on. Okay, all right. See, you see yourself, you came back, you turned here, then you stopped to come, okay? You can't, you gotta turn your feet, and go forward, all right? Now, to take some time away from these guys, there's extremely important technique that I have to cover, and some of you might have heard me talk about the T-step in the past. The T-step is a technique that was probably developed in the pros maybe 10 years ago. And the way it was developed and found out is they did some research on why certain defensive backs were better than the other defensive back when they had the same athletic ability. Okay, we have a guy that's 5'11", 190 pounds, runs 4.4. Guy over here, 5'11", 190 pounds, 4.4. This guy in the NFL has 9 interceptions. This guy in the NFL has 1 interception. Now, what's the difference? Well, the difference is this guy over here used a technique called a T-step in accelerating and breaking toward the ball and intercepting it. This guy used the old traditional technique. The old traditional technique is if a receiver is coming at me, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you guys come to me real slow and break and out at 5 yards, okay? And I'm going to stop, but you continue to go, okay? Sit, go. I'm backpedaling. He breaks. This is what happens in the traditional form. There's a separation and a wide base that develops between the legs of the defensive back and the separation between the receiver, okay? Now, his second step is not as strong, not as powerful because of the wide base. Okay, now he has to bring this foot over to get there. By that time, the receiver has ran his route. He probably has caught it. Now we're in a position to make the tackle only. Well, the guy over on this side, when he came down and ran it out this way, the defensive backpedal, and he formed a T. Okay, that's why they called it a T-step. And he pushed off with the front foot and accelerated with his arms and shoulders, and now he's in a position to make the play or make the interception. What makes that any different? Let me show you again real slow. Go ahead, back. You don't have to run. The traditional way. Defensive back, and it happens in high school 99.9% of the time. I'm covering the receiver, the guy makes an out. I'm coming, I'm backpedaling, he breaks on the out, and I do this. You can't do this. Okay, you can't have the separation and expect you to break and be in a position to knock the ball down. You have no second step. You have no push-off. You have no acceleration. Okay? You have to be able to come back. Keep your feet up underneath there. You form the T and use your upper body and your shoulders and your push-off and drive to the interception point. Now, does that make sense? Yes, it makes a lot of sense. Why does it make sense? It makes sense because, as I said earlier, you have no second step when your base is this wide. You may think you have a second step, but it's not as quick as when your feet are this close together. Your front foot is in a position where you're going to use it for the push-off. You're using your upper body. Now, that's important to remember. You're using your upper body and your shoulders to drive to that interception point. Can you use your upper body when your base is this wide? No. Okay? You can try to do it, but you can't do it. You can't do it. And that's what happens. Every high school defensive back in the country that has to cover an out, this is what happens on his first step when that guy breaks an out. Keep your feet up underneath your shoulders. Now, why is it called a T-step? It's a T-step because if I'm breaking that direction, I'm forming a T. The base of the T is hidden in that direction, top of the T is here. You're using this foot as your push-off foot. It's underneath your shoulders. You're bringing your back foot over, your upper body in a position where you're driving and accelerating to that point. Can you do that this direction, this way? No, you can't do it. So, can I teach the T-step as a coach? To teach the T-step, I think you have to say to yourself, am I going to teach the T-step in a form that I mentioned, or am I going to teach a T-step in the sense that I'm going to keep my feet up underneath my shoulders, tell my guys to keep their feet up underneath their shoulders, and accelerate to the ball? That is the way to teach it. Don't get into the philosophy of teaching T, trying to get them to form a T and break. All you want them to do is come back, keep your feet together, and accelerate to the ball, okay? Come on back, keep your feet together, and go to the football, all right? You're going to be that much closer to the football by doing it that way, by doing the T-step technique. That much closer. Why? It's because you eliminated the wide base. You brought your feet together, you're using your upper body to drive and accelerate and burst and explode, and you're going to get there and you're going to knock the ball down, or you're going to get there and intercept the ball. Okay? That is a T-step. That is important. The other thing, if you have a tall defensive back, a guy that's 6'3", 6'4", okay, put in a drill called, or a technique called the shuffle, okay? And if he played basketball, he knows how to do it. You talk about tall defensive backs. I said I was a tall defensive back. I was a corner. When I backpedaled, I had a tendency to start raising up if the route was over 15 yards. If he broke at 18, I'm standing straight up. I couldn't even do the T-step from a straight up position, okay? But what happens when you teach the tall guy the shuffle, it doesn't matter how long the route is. If you just teach the guy to stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low, stay low, just like he's covering a man in man-to-man drill in basketball, then he's always in a position to accelerate to the ball if he had to. Okay, let me review that again. Tall defensive backs covering a guy 12, 15 yards, he starts raising up, the guy breaks an out, and he's caught straight up and down. What happens when he has to do the shuffle is he always maintains that position. He's always low, he's always low, he's always low. Now if he gets in a position where the guy breaks, he's in a position where he can break with him, okay? That is the end of the foot quickness drills. Okay, we're going to get into the aspect of ball drills, which I shared with these guys earlier. It's going to be fun. Okay, there's going to be some fun drills. A lot of the drills are change of pace drills. A lot of the drills are excitement type of drills that they're going to enjoy doing. I need a football. Grab me a football over there. Okay. You guys line up right in the middle there. Now, I mentioned to them earlier in the locker room that I was going to do this drill. This is called a come-to drill. Okay, they're going to come to me 3/4 speed. When they get within 2.5 yards of me, I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to throw it right at their face mask. Okay, and the reason for this, again, this hand-eye coordination drill, Okay, can they come at me half speed, full speed, or 3/4 speed and catch the ball as they're coming as I throw it right for their face? Okay, and we'll see how it works here. Set, go. Okay, here you go. Set, go. It's right in your mouth, right there. Uh-huh. When you aim at the face, they have a tendency to turn and duck, and they're not in a position to catch the ball. That's why you have to do this drill every day so that they're always in a position to get their hands up and catch the ball with great hand-eye coordination. Their eyes have to be as big as silver dollars. Okay, when they're running down there, they don't know when that ball's coming. And this is just a drill here. In the normal practice situation, I really let the ball go hard and aim it right at their face so they can get those hands up there and catch it as hard and fast as they can. Set, go. Okay. The percentage on guys catching the ball is very, very tough. Okay, set, go. Right in your mouth, right there. Okay, good, good. Protecting yourself. All right, here's a fun drill. This drill is called the bad ball drill. My players always think that every drill that I do is a bad ball drill, but I have big mitts, okay? And I somewhat cover the ball, and when I cover the ball like this, I throw it sidearm. And when I throw it sidearm, especially outdoors and there's a little wind, the wind will catch the ball and make it float, okay? So this is a bad ball drill where I'll tell those guys, set, go, to come to me, back up about 5 yards. Come to me on my command and notice the ball. Keep an eye on it, okay? Set, go. Okay. Notice the ball float. Okay, here comes a drop. Be ready. Set, go. Good, good, good. Okay, if you have the guys that can catch the ball as it's floating in the air, then they're going to have that opportunity in a game when the ball is coming awkward and whatever. A lot of coaches can't do it because of their hands, but you can still try to do it. Set, go. Okay, that ball took off. Again, purpose of the drill, keep your eye on the ball no matter where it goes. Here comes a drop. Set, go. Okay, keep running. All right, that was called bad ball drill. The next drill is called get high. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the ball at the maximum point that I feel like you can reach up in the air and get it as you're running, coming at me. Okay, so let's demonstrate. Set, go. Okay, try to, that wasn't high enough. Let's get another one. Set, go. Uh-huh. You got to time it. Okay, you're coming full speed. That ball is up in the air. You got to reach up in the air and try to come down with it. Set, go. Good, that's the way it goes. Good job. Set, go. Uh-oh, good, good, good. All right, this drill is come to and break. I call this a hard ball drill, okay? Now why I call it hard ball is because I tell them to come to me about 7 yards, I break them to their right or to their left, and then I drill the ball as hard as I can right at them, okay? And then it's like the come to drill, and they have to protect themselves anywhere on their body. Set, go, break. Okay, good job, neat shoulder pass. Set, go, break. Good, 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 good. Now, obviously, these guys aren't all defensive backs, so they're not going through the whole process. But the communication part is important, all right? When I get ready to throw the ball, they're going to yell, pass, pass. When I throw the ball, they're going to yell ball. When they catch the ball, they're going to use their interception term, whether it's Oski or banjo or whatever, bingo. You have to talk, you have to communicate. I said that earlier about the importance of communication. If you don't have the communication, if I don't hear this guy talk, it's going to happen on a field where he's going to yell out a call, and he's not going to be in a position, nobody's going to be in a position to understand him or hear him. So you have to communicate throughout the entire practice. All right, talk about fun drills. I told you when two-day happens that you need a lot of drills or you're going to lose your kids. Well, I developed some fun drills. This is one. It's called a two-ball drill. And basically what a two-ball drill is, we changed the name after a while to try to beat the coach drill. And I'll tell you why we called it try to beat the coach. I have two balls. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to toss the ball over here. This young man's going to slide, catch it with both hands, toss it back to me. Then I'm going to toss it here, just like Coach Miller did with the softballs, only mine are up here. And then we're going to start going a little faster. The first one that drops the ball is the loser. So if he catches it, tosses it to me, and I drop it, I lose. More than likely, 99.9% of the time, I never lose. All right, here we go. Two-ball drill. Set, go.
Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad. Hot.
Next. All right. Now, why is this drill fun? It's fun in two-a-days because you have one guy working, and you heard them cheering him on because they're standing over here taking a break, taking a siesta. Okay, this is in the middle of 2 days. They deserve a break. Plus, it's fun and it's enthusiastic and it's enjoyable. Now, what do you get out of the drill? You get hand-eye coordination, one. Okay, as I toss the ball, he has to catch it with both hands and toss it back to me. Two, he gets the lateral quickness aspect. He's moving, he's sliding, he's moving. And thirdly, if he goes over 30 seconds, he gets cardiovascular work, which not too many guys go over 30 seconds. Here we go, set, go. Come on, Mike, come on, slide. Oh. Next. Come on. See, it gets a little tough. Set, go. Holy mackerel, next. Jeez. Set, go. You're a quarterback, I can tell, huh? Where are you from? What's your name? Huh? Yeah, it's good. Okay, here it is, here. Huh? Come on, move it. Come on. Let's go. You got a girlfriend? Huh? What's her name? Huh? Good, nice. Jason. All right, good job. All right. Now, you finish by challenging them, saying, does anybody think they can beat me? Anyone? Any of you guys think? Okay, here we go. Now, this guy challenged me. Now, if you beat me, you'll get a lollipop, okay? All right? So here we go.
Come on, Chad.
Set, go. All right. Next drill is called you guys jump down here, okay? You owe me a lollipop on that one, all right? Okay. Now, it's a fun drill. We do it in 2 days, and the guys enjoy it, and they have fun with it, okay? Now we get back to some seriousness of the drills. I have a drill, and this is called the buddy series of ball drills, all right? What happens here is, now you're the receiver, you're the defensive back. You're going to be right on his outside shoulder over here, okay? You're going to come down the field half speed, okay? You're coming right behind him exactly where you're at. I'm going to throw the ball over here on his left outside shoulder. You're going to have to step in front of him and intercept it, okay? Step right in front of him and intercept it. You're coming at me, though, okay, without pass interference. That's the key to the drill. This is called a curl drill, okay? So here we go, half speed, set, go. All right? Let's try it. You guys try it. I'm going to throw it on his outside left. Set, go. That's the way to go. You notice what happened here? Come on up. As I threw the ball and he's coming down, he's going to step in front of the guy and try to intercept it without even touching him. Okay? He comes right off his shoulder and he intercepts the football, and he nearly intercepted it. That's called a curl drill. Okay? Again, staying with the buddy drills in the ball drill series, we have a dogfight drill. I need 2 guys standing right here, facing me. Okay? Shoulder to shoulder. Okay, what we're going to do here is I'm going to backpedal you about 5 yards. I'm going to break you to your left. Okay? I'm going to throw the ball right in between you. One of you have to come down with the ball. All right? I don't care how you do it. One of you has to come down with the football. All right, here we go. Set, go. Break. One guy wanted it more than the other. Next 2, try it. Okay, no, I threw right in the middle. Set, go. Break. Fight for it, okay? Pull it out. Don't let him catch it, all right? All right, here we go. Jump out there about where that black tee is out there, 2 of you. This is a buddy drill series. Okay, this is called jump ball. Okay, just like basketball, only now you're fighting against a receiver, just like you were in a dogfight drill. I'm going to throw the ball at highest peak. One of you guys come down with the ball. Okay, set, go. Okay. That's the second time you've gotten beat. You must be a receiver. Here we go. Set, go. Good, 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 okay? That's exactly the way the drill works. Okay, you're fighting over the ball. Now, we also have a couple drills that we've used in man-to-man that are important. Hold the ball. When I was a defensive back, my coach used to tell me, Ron, never turn your back to the quarterback, which means if a guy is running and I'm a safety, and the quarterback still has the ball, I'm never going to show my back to the quarterback. Well, that's changed a little, okay? And one of the drills that makes it simpler is in man coverage. Okay, I teach a lot of bump and run, and I'm going to try to finish this talk with some bump and run talk. But if we have a receiver that comes at me, okay, and he gives me a flag move, a corner move, and then he runs a post, I have to be able to turn, and we call it a speed turn, and be right in his hip pocket. Come on down about half speed, give me a move here, and then break back across my face, okay? And just go slow. Wait. Good, back up. Here we go. Set, go. Go, go. Okay. Okay, you see how smooth that happened? Well, what happens, come on back. You went too fast, too. You almost embarrassed me. Okay. Go half speed, okay? Set, go. Now break here. Now come here. Now what's happened in the past is players have gotten caught in this position. The guy has given them a corner move and broke back on the post. They've gotten caught here. They think they could come back across their face and catch up to him. By this time, he's there. Okay, come on, back a step. But if he did this, he got caught here, and he made that break, and he swung his hips right around here. Now he's right in his hip pocket. He turned his back to the quarterback, but it's the best technique. It's called a speed turn. It's the best technique to use when a player has given you either a post corner move or a corner post move. Okay, it's called a speed turn. I have a couple more drills that we have. Strip drill, again, is a buddy drill. Let's get 2 guys here. Okay, one line, one behind each other. Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw him the ball. He's going to catch it. Okay, he's going to catch it with both hands. This guy is a defensive back. We teach the proper way of stripping the ball, but yet not losing the receiver if he catches the ball. And what I mean by that is, go down the field. If he catches the ball here, my safety valve is my right hand. Okay, my stripped hand is my left one, and I'm going to come through and knock the ball loose. Okay, and this is called a strip drill. Back up. Okay, I'm going to go through real slow, okay? I'm going to toss you the ball. Just go half speed. I'm going to toss you the ball. You're going to come right up behind them. Make sure you use your safety valve. Now, why do you use the safety valve? You use the safety valve because if he catches it and you don't strip him, you still got to be able to bring him down, okay? Let's go. Set, go. Okay. You have to be able to rip through there. You can't be nice to your buddy. Okay, you have to be able to do this drill full speed, that if he catches the ball here, and I'm going to use the safety valve here as my left hand, boom, I'm coming through with my right hand. Okay? Make sure he doesn't hang on to the ball. If he does, you still have the safety valve here that you can pull him down in case it happens. All right. The last drill is a fun drill. Okay? The last drill is a drill that, again, most of the drills that I have, it's called cat and mouse. And you are a receiver over here. You're a receiver. You're the defensive back over here. okay? Your left hand has to be able to touch his hip. Get closer, get closer. Okay, right there. I'm gonna be a quarterback over here, and we gotta watch the camera down there because we're coming down that direction. And what's gonna happen is, this teaches you the proper way of covering the deep route. So what's actually going to happen is when I say set, go, you're going to run outside. You're going to turn and run with them. You both are running. You both are running. Okay, when he turns back and looks, okay, you're going to turn back and look. Okay? All right? But you're going to turn back and look from the inside. Okay? Not turn back and look from the outside. That's exactly right. A lot of people teach different ways. I always teach looking back and feeling the guy looking back to the inside. If you can't feel him, then you got to find him. Okay, so as you're running down the field, and I'm covering you, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. When you turn to look back, I'm looking back to the inside. I'm not looking back this way because my body is not in a position to make any type of play. Okay? This is called the cat and mouse drill. All right, let's try it. Full speed. Let's go down the field. Now, one thing you also have to remember, try to squeeze the guy out of bounds, and then you don't have to cover the guy at all. Set, go. Good job. Okay, perfect. That's a great way to end. Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
This program, this segment would not be complete unless we visited with Coach Mark A. Miller at Mount San Antonio College in Walnut, California. Mark A., good to have you back on the program.
Okay, thanks. I have two comments here. I'd like to give a special thanks to Coaching Connection because these last 2 days, I've just learned way more than I've learned in the last couple years that I've been coaching, and I think this is a great clinic. And as far as you, Coach Dickerson, I think you covered a lot in your segment, and you did an outstanding job. And I'm just basically called to congratulate Coaching Connection and also you, Coach Dickerson. You did a fine job, and I know we have some recruits you may be looking at, and I'll be happy to send them your way. Thank you very much.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. We appreciate the call. It's always good to have, first of all, I guess, to get positive feedback from other coaches, I guess, and also especially when it comes to the recruiting thing as well.
There's no question about it. And I've been this way as long as I've been coaching. I've been this enthusiastic and this exciting. And a lot of people in the Philadelphia area say, well, Ron, when are you going to slow down? And I love this game. And I think you have to love it in order to stay in it.
Next up, Randy Duxbury, who joins us from Dickinson State College in Dickinson, North Dakota. Randy, good evening, I should say. Now you're on with Coach Dickerson.
Coach Dickerson, excellent presentation. My question is this. Inside of the red zone, where you're seeing a lot of multiple formations, doubles and trips, what are you doing with your defensive backs to avoid the pick routes?
Well, the first thing you have to recognize, because you're down in that red zone, you have to recognize substitution. And I don't know if you have a system where you can put in a nickel back, but if you can, you got to utilize them. Substitution down there is the most important time to recognize it probably anywhere on the field. If you can utilize another defensive back, utilize them. You have to work on, we have a 15-yard line coming in. It's called a coming in period. And basically we spend at least 15 to 20 minutes every Tuesday and Wednesday in coming in drills where they can recognize the pick, where they can recognize the routes, where they can recognize, because that field narrows and those kids have to be able to adjust both mentally and physically and down in that area.
Thanks very much for the call. Next up, Bill Nardozzi, who joins us from Indian Rocks Christian School in Largo, Florida. Coach, good evening. You're on the Coaching Connection. Bill, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Bill. You're on the air.
Okay, Coach, I'd just like to ask you, do you prefer to have a lot of full contact drills with your defensive backs during the week? I noticed you told me that you had a lot of players that you've coached that have been a lot of hard hitters and tear your head off. Or do you kind of refrain from that and just let them go full contact for the games?
No, we tackled twice a week, full speed. And matter of fact, this past spring, we had 15 practices, 5 of which were in shorts. And 10 of which were in full pads. Every day we were in full pads, we went at it for at least 15 minutes, live tackling drills. You have to instill that into the players' heads that tackling is fun. And if you don't do it live, there's no way that they're going to show up on Saturday and expect them to do it live.
Thanks for the call. Tony McClure joins us right now, and from Mesa, Arizona. Tony, by the way, we'd like to offer you a pair of Field General coaching shoes from Nike in the East Bay. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you very much, and great presentation, Coach Dickerson.
Thank you.
In your coverage, do you want your DBs to watch the chest or the belt buckle of the wide receiver?
And which coverage are we talking about, zone or man-to-man?
Man-to-man.
Man-to-man, you're going to watch the belt buckle on the initial takeoff. Once the young man or the receiver gets even with you, then your eyes need to go right into his eyes. And the wider his eyes get, then you ought to get a feeling that the ball is in the air, and you ought to be able to adjust. That takes practice also. It's important, and I said this earlier to the other coach, that you just can't do these things once or twice every week and expect them to feel comfortable about it. They have to do it consistently.
How would it differ in the zone coverage?
In zone coverage, you're basically looking at the quarterback. Okay, you're covering the zone, you know you're in that zone, you're backpedaling in that specific zone. If it's 3 deep, you're backpedaling, looking at the receiver, but still keeping an eye on the quarterback for the release or seeing where the ball is going. So you're not as tied up man-to-man in zone.
Next up is Steve Kirby from Mount Hope High School in Mount Hope, Arizona. Steve, good evening. You're on the Coaching Connection with Ron Dickerson.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
You bet.
Yes.
Okay, that's Alabama, not Arizona. Coach Dickerson, I really enjoyed your segment there. The question I got is, when you're in a goal line type set, do you teach, what I found that if I take away the inside, I get hurt with the fade, and if I take away or play to the outside, I get hurt with the short dump. How do you teach that man-to-man coverage there?
I teach bump and run on the goal line, and the best way to teach that is you have to be able to get a piece of the wide receiver. And I wish I had had more time to show you exactly what I'm talking about there. But as soon as that receiver releases off the line of scrimmage, you have to be able to chuck him up under the rib cage. Okay, and you can't let him release or give you a fake that you'll miss him and you'll fall flat on your face. You have to be in a position that as soon as he comes off the line of scrimmage, knock him back, slow him down a little, and now you're in a position that you can cover him anywhere on the field. Just don't let him get in the inside, and that's, to answer your question, I do not let the guys cross my face when I'm down in the goal line.
Okay, next up from Miami, Florida, Chuck Brown from the Dade Optimus Football League. What kind of football is that, Chuck?
I was Optimus for 10 years to 15 years.
Oh, great. And Chuck, by the way, we do have a pair of those Field General coaching shoes from Nike in East Bay for you as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you have a question?
My question is the tee. When do you use that? The tee drill.
The tee? We use that every day, and that basically that's in zone coverage, okay? And as I showed you out there, your league, boy, if you can teach your young people and defensive backs to keep their feet up underneath their shoulders when they're breaking on the ball, by the time they get to us in the college ranks, they're going to be tremendous defensive backs. And it doesn't matter what their speed is. It doesn't matter for 4.3, 4.4, 4.8. If they can use those techniques and develop those techniques, they'll be tremendous, tremendous defensive backs when they hit the college ranks.
Let's go back up to the Pacific Northwest. Craig Smith joins us from Central Washington University in Ellensburg, Washington. Craig, good evening. You're on the Coaching Connection.
Hi there.
Hi.
I was just
Hi.
wondering if Coach Dickerson could go over some tackling technique.
Okay, probably the most important thing to remember from a secondary standpoint, and unfortunately I didn't have a chance to go over this, is when I went to Penn State probably 8 years ago, and Jerry Sandusky, who was a tremendous defensive coordinator, tremendous coach there, put me up in front of the staff and said, Ron, teach us how you coach your drills and your tackling drills and so on and so forth. Well, I never did a form tackle drill. And he was a little disturbed. He said, Ron, you never showed us how to tackle front up. I said, the reason why I never showed you is primarily because 97% of the tackles the defensive backs make, you cross his chest. okay? They're angle tackles. So 97% of the tackles that we do, open field tackle, if you have a receiver coming down and a defensive back coming down, you want that receiver to break on an angle so that the defensive back can make the tackle across the front part of his chest. Very seldom are you going to make the front up form tackle, so why teach it? So we teach the angle tackles probably 95, 97% of the time.
Greg Whistler from Benedictine High School in Richmond, Virginia, one of our faithful coaches watching. Pleased that you called back, Greg. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. Yeah, Coach, what are the keys and responsibility, or keys rather, that you give the strong side corner and safety when you're running a quarter, half type zone scheme?
Okay, when we play a quarter, halves, that's a great question, Coach, and I appreciate that. They're playing quarters, as I said. Their keys are the number 1 receiver and the number 2 receiver. The strong safety is key in the number 2 receiver. Whatever he does, that tells the strong safety what he's going to do. If the number 2 receiver runs vertical, then that strong safety is locking up and running with him. If the tight end or number 2 receiver runs a drag or a flat, that strong safety now keys up on number 1, the number 1 receiver, and he helps the corner if that guy runs a post or something. If that number 2 receiver blocks down, and they're going to run an option, they're going to run a toss, then that strong safety is going to fly up and make the play. So the key is the strong safeties read on number 2 in determining what type of action, type of play they make over on that side.
Our final caller is Gene Gordon from Seminole High School in Seminole, Florida. Gene, good evening. You're on the Coaching Connection with Ron Dickerson.
Hi, how you doing? Coach, I know we all hate to work with negatives, but eventually it happens to all DBs. They get burnt deep. And I was wondering if you could use the monitor and show us a drill that you use to recover when you're beat deep.
Okay, we'll go to the telestrator here.
I showed you a little bit about, and I really don't need the monitor because I showed you the cat and mouse drill. The best drill, and that was the last drill that we just did, the best drill to prevent getting beat deep. And you're going to get beat deep, okay? It just depends on how the coaches handle that. But if you're running down with the receiver and you take the wrong angle or you lose them and you get beat deep, that is your fault, okay? That's the fault of the receiver, the defensive back. Coach, teach the guy the proper way of that technique and that drill, and he won't do it, okay? And that's the way we just taught it, where he's looking back to the inside. He's feeling them with the back of his hand. It's important that you teach him to feel them with the back of his hand. If he's not there, he has to turn back and find him. Look at his head. If his eyes get big and wide, he has to be in a position to turn around quick and take the ball out of the air. You can teach the proper way of not getting beat deep, okay? And then it won't happen. And if you put the emphasis on it in practice, go over it with that cat and mouse drill over it and over it and over it, it won't happen. If you just teach it once and he gets beat deep, that's your fault, not the young man's fault.